Honda is the third biggest automobile producer in Japan. It is the eighth in the world. When Honda started producing cars, there were already giants in the market with established great businesses. But Soichiro had a dream. And this is a story of a boy who didn't finish school, started working at age of 15, almost died from a car crash, lost everything because of the war, but still was able to create one of the biggest automotive empires in the world. This is the story of Soichiro Honda. Soichiro was born on November 17, 1906. His father owned a small bicycle repair shop, and his mother was a weaver. Even though bicycles were pretty popular at the time, Soichiro's family was very poor. Only 3 of 8 children in his family survived. He had a very big interest in his father's job and was helping him at the repair shop from an early age. In school, though, he was a terrible student. His grades suffered as he was not really learning at school because of the lack of interest in the subjects that they were teaching. As he was getting bad grades, he didn't really want to show it to his parents, as he didn't want to disappoint them. He had to show the grades to have the parents stamp the family seal on it. However, young Soichiro found another way. He created a family seal on his own and stamped all of the grades so the teachers think that he showed it to his family. He was even making his own toys from the materials that were laying around in his father's workshop. Soichiro was passionate about tools and machines and only wanted to learn how vehicles were working. First car he ever saw was a Ford Model T, and he never forgot that day in his life. Honda's career started when he was only 15 years old. In 1922, he left his home village and went to Tokyo to search for a job. He was able to get his first job in Tokyo at the repair shop Art Shokai, but it wasn't really the job that he was expecting. He was cleaning up, preparing meals for the workers, and even babysitting the children of the owner just to get a place to stay and a bit of food to make his leaving. Things have changed after the earthquake in Tokyo. Mechanics had to leave their jobs to get their homes repaired, and this had become the chance for Honda. He started to work as a mechanic and learned everything that he could about cars and bikes. He was reading all of the magazines so that he could deepen his knowledge in this field. He was working very hard, and it caught the attention of one of the owners of the garage, whose name was Yuzo. Yuzo became the person who started to educate Honda in the business and technical part of the job, and in 1923, Honda was helping him to create his first car in order to participate in the races, which were very popular in Japan at the time. Their second designed car, Curtiss, won the Grand Prize of Japan in 1924, and Honda not only designed it, but also was on board as the engineer. In a few years, the young boy was able to show great skills, not only as a mechanic, but also as a manager. And in 1928, at the age of 22, he was sent to Hamamatsu to open and run the new garage of Art Shokai as the brunch manager. The business was not growing too fast, but the hard work of Honda built him a great reputation, and by 1930s, he already had a good working repair shop with a full team of mechanics. As he was making pretty good money for the time, he was also spending it on pleasures that he really enjoyed. It didn't always go well for him. Once he was so drunk that he knocked out the geisha out of the window by accident. Thankfully, nothing happened to her, but because of the incident, the whole town was left without electricity as she landed on some wires. At the same time that he was running the auto repair shop, Honda was also participating in high-speed rally races. In 1936, he got into a horrible crush, after which spent 3 months in the hospital. This gave the reason and the time to Honda to think about his life. And this was the crucial point when he decided to start his new journey into the world of business. Even though he was earning well from the repair shop, he wasn't really happy with it. Honda and his friends started their company, Tokai Seiki Heavy Industry, and decided to create piston rings. He was working at the repair shop in the morning. Then he had to go to his workshop at night in order to design this new product that he was working on. Day and night, he was spending his time on learning and experimenting. And finally, in 1939, he designed a revolutionary product that could change the whole industry. His first order was from Toyota, but out of thousands of pistons that they order, only 3 passed the quality standards. This was a big challenge for Honda, and he started to visit universities and factories all across the country to learn more about the metals and manufacturing process. Finally, he had automated the whole process and was producing the highest quality product. The business was growing, and Honda was satisfied with the job that he was doing. But the next challenge that came across was the war. Shortness of labor made him struggle a lot, and in 1944, one of his factories was destroyed by a bomb, and the second one by the earthquake. He sold what was left from his business to Toyota and went out of business. At this point, Honda just lost everything that he achieved with hard work during his life. After the war, there was a massive fuel shortage in Japan, and people were using bicycles to move around. And of course, Honda saw a great opportunity in it. He redesigned his bicycle with a small engine which caught the attention of people around the town. In 1946, he started the Honda Institute of Research with the money left from his first business and soon figured out the best way to design his first motorbikes. He started a new company, Honda Motor Co., in 1948. It wasn't an easy journey, as after the war he didn't have money left, and to mass produce the motorbikes, he needed investments. Over 18,000 messages were sent to all of the bicycle shops of the country, and 3,000 of them were ready to invest into the great idea of Honda. One of his investors, Takeo Fujisawa, became his business partner and was helping a lot in business management. At this point, Honda could concentrate more on designing the motorcycles. D-Type, which stands for a dream, was the first Honda bike, but it was a bit too heavy and needed to be improved. Second model Super Cub was light and hit an immediate success, which led Honda to the US market. He broke all of the stereotypes about bikers with a single ad strategy, which had the slogan, "You meet the nicest people on Honda." This was a brilliant marketing move for the time, and just a few years later, by the end of 1960s, Honda became the biggest motorcycle producer in the world. Even though Honda had this success with the bikes, he always dreamed of producing his own cars since he saw that Model T as a child. The car market competition was really tough. There already were two big companies in Japan that were producing high-quality cars, and there was no space for the third one. But Honda was always ready for challenges. At the time in the US, the air pollution problem was growing, and the government passed a lot of regulations for the car producers, which was a big challenge for all of the companies. Honda saw the opportunity again. He designed an engine called the Compound Vortex Controlled Combustion Engine, which was not only environmentally friendly, but also was spending much less fuel to travel further. This was the success of Honda. First car produced with a CVCC engine was the Honda Civic. A lightweight car spending less fuel was the perfect solution for the world oil crisis. Prices for oil were rising, and people were buying Civic, which fitted the time perfectly. As soon as 1 million Civics were sold, Honda introduced the world with the new model, Accord. This was the better version of Civic for mid-class drivers, with good look and great reliability. Sales were increasing even higher, and soon, in the 1980s, Honda started luxury car brand Acura, which confidently entered the US market. At this point, Honda became the third largest car producer in the world. Soichiro Honda died in 1991. He lived as a dreamer and a dedicated man who was able to achieve success in his life. This was the story of Honda Motor Co., which is still one of the biggest manufacturers of cars and motorcycles in the world. For similar content, please like the video and subscribe to Biz Bites to not miss our future videos. Thank you.